We know the Cybertruck is on its way. We've pretty much got the $25,000 Tesla confirmed, even though we may not know exactly when it will be unveiled. So what could the next Tesla vehicle be? Whether it comes in the form of a passenger vehicle or a delivery truck, a van-shaped EV remains something that is missing from the Tesla lineup and could be a missed opportunity if the company isn't able to move into the market with their own product. Hey Elonites, welcome to the Tesla space where we share the latest news, rumors, and insights into all things Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk. The way that I see it, this could still go one of three ways: a family minivan style vehicle, a high occupancy transit vehicle like a minibus, or a commercial delivery vehicle like a FedEx truck, or all of the above. We've heard Elon talk about the idea of a Tesla van in the past, and the concept of a passenger van is referenced in the company's master plan. But so far, we've been given very few details about what the project would actually involve. I'd expect that some variation of these three ideas is going to be the next vehicle that Tesla announces. Following the reveal of their low-cost, made-in-China hatchback, of course, we already know that is coming soon, but once Tesla releases their smallest car, I believe they'll be going big again and capitalizing on their gains in battery technology to build something that will be able to carry either a lot of people or a lot of stuff, but probably people. Let's get into it. If Tesla goes the route of releasing another consumer vehicle to follow up their cheap hatchback, then making something that at the very least resembles a minivan seems like the most logical choice. Family transport is an option that is mostly absent from the current lineup of Tesla vehicles. Of course, you could add the third row of seats to a Model Y, but now that we're seeing that configuration in real life, it's clear that these seats are only suitable for young children. Even a teenager would have their head banging against the roof while riding in a Model Y third row. Now, there's also the Model X, which is available with a very nice 7-seat configuration that seems pretty comfortable for just about any size of person, but that will also bring you up to a starting price of $92,000 US, which is about double the cost of a well-equipped minivan. Now, a lot of that price gap comes down to the Model X having the infamous gull-wing doors. They add a ton of complication to the design. And even if people could afford this car, it probably doesn't come off as being practical or compelling as the everyday family solution. So could we get a Model X with sliding doors or even normal doors? I'm going to say probably not. The X is an old body design at this point, and just slapping different parts on it definitely goes against Tesla's current trend of maximum efficiency. So there's clearly an opportunity here for Tesla to deliver a whole new vehicle that brings together the size and comfort of the Model X with the economic practicality of the Model Y. If they add to that the design efficiency of the Cybertruck, they would basically have the Triforce of the American family hauler. There's so much that Tesla already has to offer that could go into a very compelling minivan. I'm sure that it would not be a cheap vehicle by any means, but Tesla's engineering should be able to keep the price fairly reasonable while delivering a better product than their competition. Obviously, their casting process for the vehicle's frame would play a large part in this. We know that casting is a key to maximizing the efficiency of the Model Y production. They've recently switched to a casted rear section for Model Y production and expect to have a casted front section in production this year as well. On top of that, a van seems like the prime candidate for an exoskeleton-style body similar to the new Cybertruck. These two procedures, the casting and the exoskeleton, have so far been shown to lower production costs by reducing the total number of machines needed to build the cars. This method also leads to a stronger, more stable vehicle that won't suffer from panel gaps and corrosion and the usual quality control issues, because instead of trying to piece together and bond different materials and different components, the major sections of the vehicle will be created from one solid piece of material, whether that's Tesla's own aluminum alloy or their SpaceX grade stainless steel. They might want to go to a bit more rounded and aerodynamic design than the Cybertruck, Probably would want to offer paint for this one, but the general design philosophy of the Cybertruck would carry over to a van really well, in my opinion at least. Drop a like on this video for a cyber van though, I would definitely buy one of those. A feature that would definitely carry over very nicely from the Plaid Cybertruck is that huge battery pack full of 4680 cells. We know these batteries are constrained right now in terms of production, but if this van concept is 3 or 4 years down the road, then it shouldn't be an issue to load these up with Tesla's biggest and best battery pack. Range is probably the biggest reason that electric vans haven't hit the mainstream just yet. This is a vehicle that is all about convenience, and the thought of having to stop for 20 minutes at a supercharger with 4 or 5 kids in the back, that just does not sound very convenient. So something around 500 miles of range is going to be necessary for this idea to really take off, and 600 would be great. I think it's very possible with the battery tech that is coming soon. The Plaid Cybertruck can give us over 500 miles per charge, and that's with a high ground clearance, poor aerodynamics, humongous tires, and 3 motors. A van full of people would probably be heavier than a Cybertruck, but it could make up for a lot of these inefficiencies with design and would only need 1 motor, really. Most vans are front-wheel drive with around 250 to 300 horsepower, and a single Tesla motor would at least match that level of performance and could still be nerfed to avoid drawing excessive power from the cells. There's even an opportunity with the larger roof of the van to add solar panels to draw a small amount of extra range from the sun, but more on that a bit later. And that leads us into safety, probably the most compelling feature that Tesla can offer to a customer who is looking for a vehicle that will be primarily used to transport kids is the flawless safety record that Tesla has maintained. The biggest danger placed by most large vehicles is that they roll over fairly easily because of their high center of gravity. And we know that in the US, 1/3 of all traffic deaths occur in a rollover scenario. While with Tesla, even their biggest car, the Model X, is basically impossible to roll over. During the crash testing of the Model X, they weren't even able to get it to go all the way over when they flung the car sideways into a sandbox. It's honestly crazy to watch, especially when you see how bad the average SUV handles these same tests. You could pretty much flip an average minivan just by swerving to avoid a turtle on the highway. So crash safety by design is a big win for Tesla, but then there is the Tesla airbag system. Now this is something I didn't even know about until Elon happened to mention it on his recent Joe Rogan appearance. Tesla's airbags are so smart that they use information from sensors in the car seats to determine how heavy and how wide the person is. They even consider how the passenger is positioned in the seat, like if you're shifted off to the left or the right side. All of this data is then taken into account before the airbags fire. So the Tesla airbag system will actually react differently for a child versus a large adult to provide the optimal protection. And I'm sure that's the kind of thing that would win over customers, as long as they know about it, of course. That's kind of the problem with Tesla not doing any advertising. You're kind of just left on your own to figure out what features that cars actually come with. And if they are going to sell minivans to soccer moms, they might want to bring in an advertising department, or I guess they could keep relying on us. And then finally, there is the technology aspect of the Tesla experience that would make them the ideal company to build a minivan. Imagine having autopilot and full self-driving available when you are hauling around 5 or 6 loud, insane little kids. Not having to deal with the stresses of parenting and driving at the same time for a while could be a huge load off a person's mind. And that also plays into the safety aspect as well. A Tesla is going to do everything possible to not let you crash in the first place. Then there's the entertainment side of things. Tesla have pretty much mastered the in-car gaming and video experience in their existing displays. They just need to spread that out to the rest of the interior, and that should go a long way towards keeping the family happy and occupied during any trip. I mean, Elon's already got the sense of humor of a child. I'm sure designing an entertainment system specifically for kids will be no problem. But what if Tesla doesn't go the route of building another consumer vehicle, What if they make a commercial van to follow up on the semi-truck? It wouldn't be a complete shock if that is the direction they choose, as it is actually laid out in Tesla's Master Plan Part D. In addition to consumer vehicles, there are two other types of electric vehicles needed: heavy-duty trucks and high passenger density urban transport. Both are in the early stages of development at Tesla and should be ready for unveiling next year. So they were half right in that case. We did get the unveiling of the heavy-duty truck, the Tesla Semi, but we have yet to hear anything more about this high passenger density transport. That sounds to me like a kind of minibus or sprinter-style van, something that's built more for maximum capacity than for comfort. They're typically used to cart around tourists or large private groups, and given the situation of the world right now, it's probably a good idea Tesla hasn't made this yet. Packed into a van full of strangers or even colleagues is not exactly a place I'd feel comfortable being right now. But if they did go ahead with this idea in the future, it would be a fairly niche product, but it would be a great first step towards larger mass transit electric vehicles from Tesla. They could use this kind of a van as a testing platform for technology that could eventually lead to fully electric city buses and school buses, or even long-haul traveling buses like Greyhounds. There is such a huge market out there for moving people. Tesla could easily capitalize on it. Again, maybe not right now, but hopefully, eventually, that will be a thing again. Ford Motors are supposed to be launching their own product into this market soon. It's an all-electric version of their classic transit van, and this is a tried and true vehicle platform, and you would think that would be a huge threat to Tesla making any gains in this market. But right now, the Ford is only able to produce between 108 and 126 miles of range per charge. That extremely low range seems like it would be fairly off-putting to anyone looking to seriously invest in a fleet of these vans. Ford has said that the vans will be able to replenish the batteries pretty quickly with DC fast chargers, but that issue with range just seems like a big red flag to me. It'll be interesting if Ford can find some way to boost that up. And this is where solar panels start to come into play again. The main reason we don't see any solar panels on electric cars is because the normal car roof is just not big enough to capture any reasonable amount of solar energy. It would cost more to install the system than it would be worth. Elon talked about this on the Joe Rogan podcast in February, and Elon said that solar panels don't really start to make sense until you get to a vehicle the size of a van. He said that with a van, you could even have additional solar panels that extend out from the side while the vehicle is stopped, tripling the surface area and providing something like 30 miles of range per day, which is still not very much of a benefit, but we can see the trend that the bigger the vehicle, the more practical it becomes to add solar power. And that's definitely something that can be scaled up. The third route that Tesla could go with a new van design would be a simple delivery van, pretty much like the truck that delivers your packages. It's a huge global market that is only going to be growing over time, especially in the last year. We've all become so accustomed to having everything we buy delivered straight to us, and I do not see that slowing down even without the, Anyway, the upside to this market is that the vehicle can be ridiculously simple to make. You've only got to accommodate one person, the driver, and the rest of the vehicle is just a big metal box. And Tesla's autonomy system is extremely well suited to this kind of work. Obviously, you still need a person to get the package from the truck to the door, but self-driving would maximize the efficiency of travel and reduce collisions. The biggest obstacle for Tesla on this front would be the competition. Both GM and Rivian are already way ahead when it comes to electric delivery trucks. Not only do both companies have functioning prototypes, but they also have already secured major contracts in the United States. General Motors has recently unveiled their BrightDrop EV600, a delivery truck with 250 miles of range and 600 cubic feet of cargo space. GM has already secured a contract with FedEx for 500 of these vehicles to be delivered in 2021, and we're expecting to see an even bigger order for 2022 being announced soon. On the Rivian side, you've probably already heard that they have an agreement to supply their new delivery vehicle to Amazon. And that isn't to say that there would be zero market opportunities left for Tesla to pick up, But with two of the biggest delivery services in North America already signed to their competition, it definitely makes things a little more challenging. Anyway, that's a lot of talk about vans for one day. Thanks for sticking with me all the way through this video. If you're into this nerdy EV news, then you'd probably like our Tesla Space newsletter. It's a weekly update on all things Elon related, and you can sign up in the description below. It only takes a second to do so. No spam, I promise. Also, if you're into cryptocurrency, then I suggest checking out our partners at BlockFi. They offer a great service for investing your crypto and earning high interest rates. Use our link below to receive up to $250 in free Bitcoin when you sign up. If you want to continue to learn more about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.